No, I think it's great because I think people need to understand what is good and what is not. What is good in New England versus other parts of the United States, because some things work really well and some things don't. But you know what's something I do want to touch on today? A lot of people have been bringing this up to me. They want to buy a house that has gas, no oil, or I want oil, no propane. And
Really?
it's
You've got
interesting.
people requesting oil, no propane?
Requesting oil. They're like, I don't want propane. I don't want anything to do with gas.
Oh,
right?
The fear of exploding and that kind of thing?
Well, the drawback with propane is you're tied to whoever owns that tank.
Correct.
So you kind of get locked in, and it's
You
a
can't
bigger
buy it?
process to swap. No, because now you're responsible for your tank.
Oh, you wouldn't want to own a tank?
I wouldn't.
I would.
Why?
Why wouldn't you want to own your tank?
You have to have them tested every X amount of years, whatever their requirements
So
are.
what does that mean?
It's all cost. More cost.
And maybe insurance-wise when
Insurance-wise, I would assume.
Because think about that. If you own your own tank and the insurance company knows you own your own tank.
I mean, I own an oil tank, and that comes with a ton of risk.
Well, and you should be thinking about it at like 20-ish, 25 years.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
That's about your lifespan on an oil tank, so.
How'd you guys meet?
How did we meet? I mean, I have claims that I met him when he was a child, but he can't.
I don't recall
We can't
that.
quite make this work.
Yeah.
Oh.
He says it, but I don't believe it.
He doesn't believe me, basically.
Who is this?
This is Jason Fisher. Owns and operates Four Seasons Comfort out of Sterling, Massachusetts.
Sterling
not
now, yeah.
Lancaster anymore.
Four Seasons Comfort.
Yeah. You got it right.
Okay. I still wear the T-shirt, but it's pretty faded. So
Well,
You're
Stop on by.
you're an HVAC company,
I am.
but you own it outright?
Yep.
It's you.
Yep.
Only you.
Only me.
Wow. How long?
We're 11 years now.
Out of Sterling.
Yep, out of Sterling. We were in Lancaster for a while, but we
Okay.
moved over, bought a property in Sterling. So
Nice.
Jay had dreams for years of being on Pratt's Junction Road
Ah,
and manifested that thing.
yeah, we're on Pratt's Junction Road now.
that's a good road to be on.
Yeah.
That's a great road to be on.
Also a firefighter. And you are like, you probably have people in your life that you like when you have a question, a technical question. He's been my HVAC technical advisor for years, and I have yet to stump you.
Oh.
Like some people, you can,
yes.
you know, they're looking something up.
Yeah.
I have never, he's never done that. He's never been like, once he sees the message, he just responds.
I
Like-
often wonder how home inspectors know a little bit about what they're talking about.
It's their people.
It's their
They-
people.
Totally.
It's
We have a
tot-
support network.
Totally their people. No, I know that you have to learn and you have to do.
I love
yeah.
the way you said that. I wonder how inspectors know anything. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a support network
Now,
for sure.
You have to. We
We
have
do.
support.
I mean, we're generalists. Can't know everything about everything.
No.
Need people like him.
So talk to us. What do you do? What does your company do?
So we do heating and air conditioning, service, maintenance on everything, as well as new installs. We do ductwork, ductless, heat pumps, gas, oil, light commercial, rooftops, you name it, we do.
What's your favorite? Wow.
That's a tough one.
Serious thought taking place here.
Yeah, there's some thought in that one.
All right. So you're buying a home and it's your home. What would you want in your home?
So currently what I have and what I would go with is I like a hybrid system so that I always have a backup. So I have mini splits. I also have an oil burner and I have a wood stove as well.
All right. I'm going to go right to the question that I have.
Go for it.
Mini splits.
Yep.
Yes or no for New England?
Yes.
As a source, as the source,
Sole source of
sole
heat.
source.
If installed properly and maintained properly, yes.
So for heating and AC.
Yes.
I say AC, but for heating, that thing is cranking.
So I will tell you this, that about 90% of HVAC systems in the country are oversized. across the board on heating and cooling. So everyone's accustomed to that you need a very large boiler or a very large heating plant, where if you actually look at the load calc, or what's called the manual J, which tells us the heat gain and heat loss of a structure, we don't need half as much as we've thought for years. They say that even upwards of 200% oversized on average.
And how does that translate? There's a connection to be made here. So how does that translate to mini splits working well or not working well?
So where it translates is a mini split is definitely a smaller capacity than any boiler or any furnace that you're going to get. So we're much lower capacity. When you actually look at what you need for a home, that lower capacity is actually sufficient. So for instance, what we use for sizing is a 2-degree outdoor air temperature with a 70-degree indoor temperature. The amount of time that we actually hit 2 degrees or go below 2 degrees is so minimal that it's under a 1% of a year. So even any heating system should not be sized for under 2 degrees, because you're oversizing it for 98% of the year for that 1 or 2%.
Other implications of oversizing HVAC equipment in general.
So you have short cycling. Comfort. Comfort's your number one thing that you're going to lose. It also takes a toll on the equipment, turning on and off consistently. But as far as the comfort level, we want to run for 15 to 20 minutes at a time. That's going to create a nice, comfortable, even feel in a home, where when you oversize it, it's going to run for 5 or 10 minutes, which is constantly on and off. So everyone that has that forced hot air that always says, hey, it's hot, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold, it's because it's oversized. So when you put the right size equipment in, and this is where a mini split really shines, is it's a variable speed product. So it can ramp up and ramp down, and it can stay on for the bulk of the time throughout the hour, which is a more consistent, constant, even, comfortable temperature.
You see more houses that have this oversized versus what it should have, and that's why it's not working well?
I would say that almost any existing system is probably oversized in.
Why is that? Isn't it the job of the HVAC person to go to the company that's going to supply it and say, I have this square footage and this? I don't get it. What's
So
the
it's
disconnect?
actually on the HVAC company. We do our own manual J's, our own load calculations. Prior to, I'd say maybe about 2012, this was a little foreign, and nobody in the field, nobody in the trade wanted to believe that these numbers were right, because we all thought bigger, better. There's no way that's going to heat a house. The more that we started running the calculations, doing the numbers, and installing the right size equipment, and seeing this really does work and creates a significantly more comfortable home at the end of the day.
Give the framework of a manual J calculation. What does that look like?
So manual J, we're going to come in one of two ways. So we either measure with a laser, or now we're using a LiDAR scanner, where we scan your house and enter all your...
Dude, that's fancy.
Yes, it is. Enter all the windows in. It's going to tell you all the windows, walls, north, south facing. But we put all this into a manual J program, which is going to then, we have to put the insulation, the infiltration, and all the windows in, which way they're facing, which is going to tell us the heat gain, heat loss, room by room. Therefore, that's where the ductwork sizing comes in, and we keep breaking this down further. So the full process looks like a manual J, which is heat gain, heat loss of the structure, manual S, which is equipment sizing based off of that. And then we go into a manual D if we're going to run ductwork, which is the ductwork design. So we put in the static pressure that we have available and build out the ductwork to make sure that it's the right size and balanced in the home.
Okay. Heat pumps. Those are electric. What's wrong with electric heat?
So electric heat is electric resistance. So a straight electric baseboard on the wall is going to be, you pay for 1 watt of electricity, you're getting 1 watt worth of heating out of it. Okay. So it's 1 for 1. It's 100% efficient if you look at it that way.
Okay.
But you're only ever getting that. With a heat pump, we are more efficient because we are using a compressor and refrigerant to absorb heat and move heat. And by doing so, we can be upwards of 2 or 3% efficient off of that. So we can be a COP, you're paying for 1 watt of electricity and you're getting 3 watts worth of heating out of it. because all we're doing is moving heat. It's the same concept as a refrigerator. There's always heat in the air, no matter how cold it is outside. And we absorb it, move it inside through the refrigerant flow, and get rid of it inside. Just like air conditioning.
Loved. So do you think you should always have a supplement heat with a heat pump?
I personally like to have a supplement or some sort of backup option. But we certainly are doing a lot of homes with a sole source heat pump, and that is it. Now, the biggest thing I see with it is the planning that goes into it. I don't like to see one outdoor unit if that's going to be the only thing heating a home. I like to see some sort of redundancy, whether it's 2 or 3 outdoor units. A couple things that does for you is it makes it a more efficient system. Typically, the smaller the outdoors, the more efficient they are from that standpoint. But it also gives us a redundancy. So if we have an outage of some sort, whether we lose a compressor part, everything is mechanical, so things go. But that will give us that redundancy that we don't lose a whole entire home with it.
What's the length of time that a heat pump lasts? Like, I'm sure you have to replace these.
So currently, most major manufacturers, if they're installed by the proper dealers, it's going to be a 12-year part, 12-year compressor warranty. So they're going to pretty much cover that unit for 12 years.
Okay.
So I'd say 12 to 15 is about your average lifespan of what you're going to see.
What happens after that? You have to rip that out and put another one?
As long as it's still operating, keep running it.
Is that costly compared to having a regular system?
So the cost of everything is significantly up. So, either way, it's you already have the framework for it. You're usually adding the new pieces and parts.
Is there different levels of heat pumps? Like, is there a cheap one versus a better one, and one lasts more and one has a better warranty?
Yeah, there's a couple different, you have all your different manufacturers. You also have within them some that are not hyperheat per se. So Mitsubishi's we have the hyperheat, which goes down below 0 degrees. We're -5 degrees now, which is your 100% marker. And then you have other brands that will drop off at the 15 degrees or at the 20 degrees. So the old school heat pump that used to drop off at 20 and 30 degrees, that's where you definitely want that backup. Yeah. That's where you're going to have trouble. With these newer heat pumps that we can operate 100% at 5 degrees or 100% at -5 degrees, we have the heating capability.
What's the maintenance on them?
So as with everything, maintenance is huge. That's going to keep things going in the long term for you. That's going to keep everything up to snuff. On the inside, we're always cleaning out the indoor coil. We're cleaning down the blowers, wiping everything down, cleaning out all your drains for your air conditioning time. Outdoor, we are checking the condenser for any pest, rodent, anything like that. That is the biggest thing that will take out one of these units is mice damage, and there is no manufacturer that will cover that under warranty.
Those little rats.
That's the biggest problem right there.
Why do they like them so much?
Yeah, why do they?
Just a concealed spot.
It's warm and it's out of the elements.
Do you have like covers or anything that keeps them out?
I mean, there's covers on the units, but they work their way into anything. So they are the number one problem.
Okay.
If you
go ahead.
If you stick with a Mitsubishi system, let's say you got 3 outdoor units and let's say you got 6 indoor units, can you replace parts as needed? Like if one outdoor unit goes, or is everything obsolete at the same time? Like how does this work?
They're usually pretty good about maintaining everything throughout that 12-year warranty. So if it's within that time, they're pretty good about maintaining their parts, so on and so forth. There are times that parts can be a little bit of a wait. Sometimes we have a couple week wait to a part. It's not like everything sitting on a shelf in a corner. So that's a big reason why I like that redundancy in multiple systems.
Yeah, I like that concept because I am seeing new construction now with one outdoor unit and it works. But then if it doesn't, you're up a creek. Yeah. It's
tough.
Is there still rebates?
Yes, there is rebates. So Mass Save has plenty of rebates out there.
What are they offering?
They have a whole home, a partial home, and then a basic. So their whole home rebate is actually $2,650 per ton, up to $8,500 for.
I thought they got rid of it.
They keep bringing it down a little bit every year. So everything kind of comes down a little bit every year, or they change the criteria to meet.
So if somebody goes and calls you and says, I want to put some heat pumps in, you come in and say, I want to maximize my mass save rebate. You can be able to walk them through that.
Yep, absolutely. So the biggest thing with mass save is you want to make sure you have a HPIN, heat pump installer network contractor.
A what?
HPIN.
You heard of this?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what HVAC
Heat pump installer network.
Okay.
Heat pump installer network.
I mean, I knew that.
Yeah. Come on, you didn't have that
I was
one?
just testing you.
Okay.
So you want to make sure your contractor's on there. That's what opens you up to have all the rebates.
Got it.
Do you need to have the audit? Like if I haven't had an audit in 7 years from Mass Save,
Yep, you are due for the audit.
I have to do the audit first before I can
So you
take
can
advantage of this?
contact us and have us do the walkthrough. We can set you up, get everything going, get the estimate out to you. We can't move forward with any of the work until you've had that audit and
Hold
walkthrough.
on. Let's back up a little bit.
Like I need a recent one.
Yes.
Like how long do they last? Is it a year, 2 years?
They're 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Let's back it up. For dumbing it down a little bit. First, somebody wants to take advantage of this. They have to have an audit on their house
From Mass Save.
from Mass Save. And that audit is good for 2 years.
Yep.
And then they contact an HPIN, and that's you.
Yep.
And then you can come in,
Yep.
and then you would show them what they have to do to get their rebate.
Yep.
Cool.
So we handle the rebate. We get all the bills from you, everything like that. We actually handle the rebate in-house.
Wow.
So we file everything for you so that you don't have to
Wow.
navigate the program.
So we don't pay you the full amount. We pay you minus the rebate and you deal with that crap.
So we are now offering rebates up front. So we can actually take the rebate amount right off the top of it.
Sweet. I like
As
that.
long as you
Nice.
provide us all of the paperwork up front, we do the rebates up front.
Little risk on your end doing that, I would say, probably.
Can
But
be.
very
Can
convenient.
be, but that's why we request everything up front.
You have to.
Yeah,
right.
I would say that's super convenient, man.
Yep.
As a customer, the less crap I got to do trying to get rebates. Question on the whole, you quoted like a $2,600 per ton up to $8,500 if it's a whole house. I forget the language you used, but does that mean you have to rip out an existing system? Like if you have an oil burner and you want to take full advantage of the Mass Save rebates, do you have to take out your oil burner?
So as of right now, you're allowed to disable your oil burner, whether it's pulling the circuit out of the panel, thermostats off the walls. We have a handful of options that we are allowed to perform to get you that whole home and still keep that oil burner in your home. However, you are supposed to be using the mini splits full time.
Okay. And they used to do it through some fancy thermostat, basically.
So that would be a partial home.
That would be partial.
So that's what we call an integration.
Okay.
Integration means that at a certain outdoor temperature, which depending if you have propane, natural gas, or oil, we have to go by what Mass Save gives us for a number, but we convert over and swap to that fossil fuel. So we would use the heat pump up until 30 degrees per se, and then switch over. So we do that through either thermostat or the Kumo station.
Kumo station.
Kumo station, which is Mitsubishi's version of the swap over.
That's an acronym. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know.
Or I have no idea why. So the integrated system, what do the numbers look like on if we're doing integrated versus whole?
So we're getting $1,125 per ton with a cap of also $8,500.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I know you're not going to like this question because you're a precise guy, but on average, let's do the average. I don't know, 1,000 square foot ranch or 1,500 square foot colonial. I don't know what you tend to work further east where there's bigger houses. We tend to live and operate in Central Mass where our average house size might be 1,700 square feet. How many tons might a house require for heating and cooling?
So it all depends. It comes down to the insulation is the biggest thing. So you are going to have to upgrade your insulation as far as Mass Save to get that whole home rebate. That is one of their requirements, which I 100% agree with.
Mhm.
Same.
I do too.
Wholeheartedly.
So once you tighten the structure up, I'd say we're averaging 2 to 2.5 tons is what we're seeing for about the 1,000 square foot, give or take.
So 2 to 3 tons might be an average installation.
Yep.
And you can integrate a system and get $11.25 per ton, but unless you got a huge house, you're not going to max out that 8,500.
More than likely not.
But on a 2,600 per ton, you're going to come pretty darn close on an average house. Okay. And then what was the basic one?
So the basic one is $250 per ton up to $2,500. That is more just they're trying to offer it to anyone that's replacing over electric resistance, that's just putting in a heat pump for a certain portion, not going with a fossil fuel. So that's just a little bit broader of one where we can offer some sort of rebate that historically speaking wasn't offered.
Yeah. But it ain't much. I mean, $250 a ton is not going to get you very far.
Not very far, no. But it's better than nothing.
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
What's the biggest misconception on these heat pumps? Is it what we just
That they can't heat.
That they can't handle it.
That they can't handle it. That
I
they
always
can't
thought
heat.
that they just don't last.
They last. I mean, we're pulling out furnaces that are 10 to 15 years old still. So
What? Wow.
it comes down to the sizing and the wear and tear. You know, you put an oversized furnace in that's turning on and off 5-6 times in an hour. It's doing a.
So with the new construction HERS rating, you can't just have heat pumps.
So a lot of towns are actually going to heat pumps only for the new construction with the
Okay.
HERS rating.
So that's town per town.
It's town per town, and it actually helps them get a better HERS rating in most applications. I would say we don't do a whole lot of new construction. The couple that we do have, contractors that we work with, we are just got told on the next houses coming up, we are heat pump only.
Interesting.
I'm
Very-
seeing it more for sure
Wow.
on new construction.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see it work.
And
But I do think these houses are built for it.
well,
They're
so
insulated
there
to
it
the
is.
max.
They're insulated to the max.
Right. Yeah.
There's
They
no
can't
heat
breathe.
loss. Yes, they can't breathe,
Yeah.
which is why we put ERVs in as well.
What's that?
That's an energy recovery ventilator, which is
Yes.
going to get outside air, get
Air,
some fresh
bring it
air
in.
into that space.
Instead of
It
just
doesn't it
leaving the
run
bathroom.
constantly too?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be a constant run.
But they're quiet. Remember when they, not too long ago, they were just leaving bathroom fans running all the time to meet
Yeah.
that requirement, which
Yep.
was kind of wonky. You know?
Wasn't my favorite design.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, speaking about air quality, what are some of the issues around that? Like mold?
You have the mold. Humidity is going to obviously rise with not having enough fresh air coming in. You have carbon dioxide, not monoxide, but dioxide, which is the off-gassing and the breathing and so on and so forth. It will build up in a home
without
ventilation.
And doesn't that have to also be compared to the size of the property?
Yep. So we also put that into a calculation of how many bedrooms, how many people are in that home, and we size everything accordingly. So the biggest thing that comes down to is that we're no longer just installing a system, we're designing a system.
Do you think that we would know the difference if you didn't have the E whatever?
The ERV?
ERV.
For a new construction home, yes, you would.
You would feel the difference.
You would feel the difference because the humidity levels would be higher and the comfort
Humidity
level.
all year round?
Yep.
Just from people cooking, eating,
Cooking,
breathing,
eating,
showering.
breathing.
Do you think having an in-law basement apartment, do you think that needs to have?
Absolutely.
And if not, you have mold.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you have an in-law basement apartment but you don't have the
ERV.
ERV? I'm going to write that down. ERV. What if it happens you don't have that? What's the air quality like?
It's going to suffer. It's going to suffer. There's not enough air exchange going on down there unless it's somehow tied into the rest of the house to circulate the air.
So you have to leave a window open all the
You
time.
should be leaving a window open or some sort of fresh air.
Well, if it was an old leaky house, you'd be fine.
Or an old leaky house.
You know, if you got an average leaky house that
That affects people's health.
Yes.
Yeah.
One
of the things with ERVs that kind of bugs me is that there's no indicator to the homeowner whether they're working or not. So I've been coaching people on kind of just making a habit of checking the thing, making sure it's running. But I don't know how many people are actually going to do that.
Say it again.
The
You're
ERVs that we're talking about.
You're nervous
energy.
that it's not running?
there's no indicator to the homeowner. Like if you lose your heat,
True.
you're going to notice.
Oh,
you're going to
true,
get cold. You lose the ERV. I mean,
you get used to it.
You don't even hear it.
No.
Right. So ERV is very quiet. Not like a bathroom fan. I mean, you can barely hear them. Maybe it's just my hard of hearingness, but when I'm standing right next to the thing, I have to take a pause to see if it's even running. I can barely hear them. So that leads me to wonder, if it's not working, how does a homeowner notice?
Health.
You maybe, but
you'll see it on the health. You'll see humidity would be different in the home than what's normal.
Okay.
So
maybe that's
your
part of the coaching
indicators,
needs to be like telling them that if you see condensation on your
windows,
high performance windows, you got too much moisture in your house, and it might be because of that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That would probably be the number one sign that you'd see.
Okay. I mean, I feel like there should be some kind of indicator on those systems. Maybe an alarm, maybe a red light, even something simple to just say, "Hey, I'm not working."
I agree.
You know? Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most cost effective that a homeowner can do for an upgrade that would save like hundreds to them?
I don't think there's really one
in any system.
I don't believe that there's. So I would say duct sealing. If you have duct sealing, we're losing. So we have the ductwork going through the home.
Right.
Back in the day, we may not have sealed that as well as we do nowadays. So losing air to the attic or to the basement where we're not trying to condition, that's the number one loss, I would say, in most older homes. So duct sealing would be one of the big ones to take a look at and see if you can improve.
What about on a forced water? It's a great question. But a lot of houses in New England actually don't have ductwork.
No, they have forced.
I'd say most of us are running forced water baseboard. Is there anything you can do to make those systems like
better,
more efficient?
Not much you're going to do there.
Put the cast iron around it again.
Yeah, those are cool.
When they got rid of that cast iron is awesome.
Yep, stays warm forever and radiates off all day.
People are like, "Oh, this is an old house that has these," and I'm thinking that's going to save you. It's going to like keep that room toasty.
They're comfortable.
Yeah.
But then they got rid of it and they put that little aluminum stuff.
Yeah, it's cheap.
That everyone stains in the bathroom.
Everybody that stands up. Yep.
Yep. This is very interesting. What would your preference be if there was no heat pump? Oil, gas, propane? What was your preference? Wood stove. Pellet stove.
I do like my wood stove. I do like my wood stove.
Yeah.
I'm fine with any of them. I mean, oil, natural gas, I've kind of run through.
But you rather the forced hot water versus forced hot air.
I have heat pumps with the forced hot water twinned on top of each other. And I will tell you that I run my heat pumps until they will not maintain my house, which I did not size. I did not get into the heating, put them in prior to this. And I run them until they don't maintain because of the comfort in my home.
You find them more comfortable than the oil heat?
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
I would not have guessed that.
Yep. And it comes down to that we're running for the better portion of an hour. They're on and staying on. So it's that variable speed. Find it. And
it's too bad they're so big. Some houses there's no place to put them. There's not a wall space.
So we have a lot of options. We have ceiling cassettes, low wall units. We have high wall units, and we also have ducted heat pumps. So we do have a ducted heat pump that
What's that mean? Ducted.
So it's gonna have ductwork. So you're not gonna see the heat pump up on the wall. It's gonna be ductwork down in your basement. We put an air handler down in the basement and connect it. You don't know any different other than the air is gonna blow through the vents.
Yeah, it looks just like a furnace setup.
Yep.
But there's no gas, no oil.
Gas, no oil.
And is that efficient? Not as
efficient. You're gonna always have your duct loss, but we're certainly installing quite a few of those. It maintains the aesthetics of the home.
Plus, it's also with homes that don't have the wall space or whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah. Like if I was going to do splits in my house, I feel like that's what I would do a hybrid. I feel like I'd have the wall unit probably in the open living space where we've got room. But in the little bedrooms, like we have ranch house sized bedrooms, I wouldn't want anything hanging. I'd probably do ceiling cassettes in there or a ducted portion just for that side of the house.
Yep. And I would say there's no one fits all. We really like to look at the home, look at the homeowner, look at how they utilize their space and what is going to make the most sense.
If you could change something in the industry standard or regulations, what would you like to see?
I would like to see the manual J. So they are asking for manual J's now on any permit that's
Oh.
being applied. I would like to see a standard of people truly understanding it. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that are doing them that may not know all the proper data entry and so on and so forth. So you're still seeing an oversized system,
Mhm.
and it's more that they haven't caught up to the times of what data they need to be putting in.
Do you have to take different, like, class, school, anything?
Yeah, so we have our schooling for the initial licensing, and then a lot of us will be maintain classes moving
Certification.
forward. So, we attend classes moving forward for the manual J, the S, the D, and the up and coming things in the industry.
Is the manual J well taught to journeymen, like initially? Or do you really have to seek that out?
You kind of got to seek that out.
Mhm.
Yep.
I mean, I know, like, I feel like it's a thing if I was a homeowner, and I feel like it should be put out there as a standard. Like, if you're getting a system installed,
Mhm.
these are things you want to ask your installer. Like, not only are you doing it, hey, can I see it?
Yep.
Show me that
Yeah.
you're doing it, because otherwise you don't know.
You don't
They
know.
just, I think a lot of guys just throw a number at it and say, well, especially on a replacement, well, the last guy put in 100,000 BTU system, so that's what I'm going to do. And it's easier, right? On them.
And I'll say is
They don't
even
have to think.
from that standpoint is you have a lot of homeowners that have that mindset of I have 100,000 BTU. There's no way a 60,000 BTU is
Right.
going to heat this.
Right.
And that's where we kind of come back with the what problems have you had in the past X amount of years that you've had that in your home?
Mhm.
And usually it all comes back to, well, that tells me it's all oversized.
Do you get objections? When you try to downsize a system,
Yes.
do you get objections like that?
Wow.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be less expensive to put in a,
Yep. The cost
Smaller
of,
system?
Yes, the cost drops down.
imagine arguing with somebody about trying to save you money? I can't.
Because it was an other system is that the case? Or-
Yeah, so normally somebody would have that
Yeah.
100,000 and they
Because
just
no one's going to know the difference. If you said I'm going to do 60, when
Yep.
they're going to be, I want 100. They're not going to know that.
Right. I feel like I just wouldn't tell them. He's like, I'm just going to do the thing that's right, and you're going to be happy.
And there's definitely more education out there though as far as the customers than there was in the past too.
So correct me when I'm wrong. I told you previously that I heard somebody on Instagram. It was an HVAC person, and he was adamant that we are idiots in New England to have heat pumps because they're overworking for our weather.
Can't agree.
That's interesting.
They can certainly handle this weather. Once again, it comes down to sizing. It comes down to design. Those are the two biggest. If you have an improperly installed one that is not sized properly, yes, that might be overworking for our weather.
Mhm.
But if everything has been checked off and installed properly,
All right, let's go to a basic oil boiler. It's 20 years old. I'm a real estate agent. I see this all the time. Do you think I should get a new one? What would give me more value? Blah, blah, blah. What do? It's 20 years. It's working like a charm.
This is on a seller, like a listing agent? Okay.
so I would say if they're the seller, whoever's the buyer, I would be more apt to say which route do they want to go. If that is working and you don't have leaks and everything is clean, there's
Regularly maintained.
regularly maintained,
Mhm.
I would say probably leave it alone at that point with the 20 year. So an oil boiler, yes, we certainly see them go 25, 30 years.
Correct. Yeah.
You may start utilizing more fuel at that point, so on and so forth with the air leaks. But at that point, I'd say leave it. And your new buyer might be going heat pump. Your new buyer may want to go propane. They may have a whole different route that they want to go.
But if a new buyer comes in and they want to do a heat pump mainly because of AC, that's what I see. They mainly want to get a heat pump because they want the AC for the summer. They don't want to put the windows in anymore, the window units. You do like that idea of a supplemental.
I do like the idea of a supplemental.
And I have to agree with you. I kind of like it that way.
I am a big fan of redundancy. We certainly do the whole home a lot, but personally, I'm a big fan of redundancy.
Yeah, I like a backup plan too.
Yeah,
Maybe a couple.
yeah.
You know, I'm a big fan. I just completely lost. I had a good question.
No, you didn't.
It was a great question. I'm going to mourn the loss of that question because I'm going to think of it at 2 a.m.
He wanted the question that's going to help him out now.
He's probably going to text it over to me.
Yeah,
later.
I would actually. No, I had a scenario because that was an interesting scenario as a list agent. And I have a similar, you can basically just poke holes in this if you think I'm doing it wrong. All right. We got free reign here.
Do it.
One of the things that I've been coaching buyers on is like, all right, walk into the house. Outside the house, we noted that the chimney was in pretty rough shape. So you got an old masonry chimney that's starting to fall apart. We know that's gotten expensive to fix, right? So let's say that it's in a condition where they got to rebuild it from the roof line up and it needs a liner, right? So we're talking thousands of dollars already. Then we get in the basement, we find the 30-year-old boiler still working, but and then the 25-year-old oil tank to go with it. So you got this whole system. I am at least encouraging people to consider that you might want to switch to gas. If it's not on the street, then propane, because you can get rid of the oil tank. You can not maintain the chimney anymore. You can vent directly out the side of the house with PVC. So now you're not fixing the chimney. You might just knock it down below the roof line and roof over it, which is way cheaper than rebuilding it. You get rid of the oil tank, which is an environmental hazard if it leaks, right? One of the most expensive things you could deal with is an oil leak. I have oil. I run oil. I'm not afraid of it, but I'm vigilant about making sure the damn thing's not leaking too. But I feel like if I was in that situation, walking into a house and all those components were aged, I would probably be switching to propane myself.
It would be a thought. Heat pump would be another thought at that point. And that's where I always look back to what is the long-term goal living there.
Wouldn't you say I would go to the gas if the gas was on the street versus doing the propane tank?
If it was on the street.
Natural gas would be my first. Yes.
There's many houses that don't have it available.
Yes.
No, but then you're saying propane.
Or they'd already be using
tank. I would go to a heat pump all day long. Thank you.
See?
Okay.
And they are starting to come out with some water heat pumps that are going to connect into the boilers. There's the first generations of them are starting to come out. So you'll have a heat pump that can twin in with the oil burner or the propane boiler.
Very cool.
So that is
a water source heat pump.
So it's an air source to water. So it's still that outdoor unit absorbing from the air, but it's going to the water inside.
So it's basically supplementing the boiler.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But what about the redundancy in your situation? Going back to this, like you're going to take out the oil burner and go to a heat pump. And then what's your backup?
So you want to design the system properly so you have multiple outdoors.
I'm just asking you, like, you don't want the propane tank and you don't want the oil.
I didn't think the propane tank. I was thinking first and foremost, I would say my first guess would be like, is there gas on the street? Then if there's none, I'm a big fan of electric. But anyways, if there's none, then I would go to the heat pump. I wouldn't put a propane tank out. Okay. Now you got to go get a propane tank. And now you're locked in with somebody.
This is why I think I'm a fan of owning propane tanks, because you can shop out your fuel.
I guarantee you your insurance would change.
I mean, I have an oil tank. That's one of the most insanely costly
that's been around
problems.
Forever.
Yeah. So
you can't put a propane tank in your house.
No, you put it outside.
I know.
What's wrong with that? If it leaks, it doesn't cause an environmental hazard. There's no cleanup. If a propane tank discharges all of its propane, you lose your gas. But there's no EPA knocking on your door.
It's not much they're going to do at that point. They can't dig it out. It's going into the air.
It's just gone. But there's no EPA going, hey, we're going to take out all the soil and it's going to cost you $200,000. So there's that, I think.
Wow. This is really, I learned, I can't believe I actually learned something. I'm thinking I'm just going to be sitting here saying, okay, well, HVAC, but this was really good. I'm really excited that there's still rebates for people.
Yes, there is still
And
rebates.
I'm really excited that you switched my thinking, because oftentimes when I go into a house and I see a heat pump, I'm like, all right, heat pump, because I mean, really. And now I have a little bit more education and understanding the time period. And then the age, when I'm representing the buyer, how old it is, but even when I'm asking the seller now, if it's less than 12 years, I've got some good warranty on that still. And now we get a new guy that we can check in with.
All right.
And do you have you must have like plans where you're on a plan with them for cleaning?
Yep. So we have a annual plan.
Okay.
We do it with the gas, the propane, and the mini splits. So we do any of them are on there. So we come in, some are biannual, some are annual, depending on which piece of equipment you have. But we'll come out and go through everything. We call you the month before, set up the appointment.
Good.
So you don't even have to think about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Take it right out of there.
You got some nice staff.
Great staff.
Staff is working great.
Is Mass Save doing anything toward fossil fuel installations anymore?
They are not.
No more rebates on
Nothing
upgrading to high efficiency gas.
Not at all.
That's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good thing for a long time.
It was.
Yeah.
That was really helpful to a lot of my buyers.
Yeah.
Not at all. So they're going
Heat pump.
All electric.
All electric.
Okay. That's fair. I like some of those rebates. They don't make you on the whole system. They don't make you actually physically remove like your oil tank, your boiler.
Not
You're talking
right now.
about a circuit breaker.
Not right now. It's the circuit breaker or pulling thermostats are satisfying as of right now, satisfying that.
Okay.
And as with everything with Mass Save, it does change.
Yeah.
So
it's an evolving thing. I feel like every year you got to relearn.
Every year, and sometimes even every 6 months, they will evolve.
Is that because of their funding? Where do you think that comes from? Like it's not a consistent thing. You can't talk about Mass Save in a very confident way because you don't know what they're up to, except that it's a great program.
You can be pretty confident with it. They do usually give us a couple months. So if we have something signed, we will make sure we communicate it with the customer and say, hey, we have to get this done by X date. And they'll usually give some sort of rain date to it. So it's not typically a full surprise.
They are consistent with the insulation, correct?
Yeah.
Like I've never heard them back off of insulating and air sealing.
Insulating and air sealing is huge.
Air sealing is like the most underrated thing in the world, as far as I'm concerned. You agree?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Air sealing is sealing up all the gaps and cracks, like let's say between a finished ceiling on a second floor and the attic space, the unconditioned attic space above. That's going to be a cold space in the winter. Those little air bypasses, we call them. I wish there was a better word for this.
You mean like the attic opening and stuff like that?
The attic opening is a prime example of when that's not, like I know right away when I open an attic, if there's no weather stripping on that thing and it's not insulated, there's no way in hell that they've gone through that attic in any detail, like automatically calling it out right there and then, because that's a egregious leak, air leak of warm air to a cold attic. But then there's going to be another 20, 30 of them under the insulation somewhere.
Totally. Every light fixture, every wall
that comes together up there, the wires that pass through them, the pipes that go through, like those are all little air leaks that most insulation won't stop. Your insulation is not going to stop that air movement.
And that stair is essentially a door to outside that is a, 1/4 inch Luan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting too.
That's something I'm enjoying seeing on new construction is the attention to detail on the air sealing side of insulation. They're actually doing this now.
They have to.
Yeah. I think it's been a good change.
The HERS rating is tight.
Yeah. No, it's made a big difference. You don't see, mold in attics. A large percentage of the mold we see in attics is a direct correlation to warm, moist air leaking out of houses through air bypasses. Like the air sealing that Mass Save does is inadvertently preventing a ton of mold. And I think I don't think they can promote it that way, but maybe they should. People hate mold.
Right.
They're scared of mold. You don't want mold, keep the heat in your house.
And they really don't think that that's the reason. They think there's they have mold in the house, but they don't really understand how did that come about?
Right.
They don't have that. They just say, oh, that house has mold. But
yeah, it's just
it's an easy fix in the sense of we understand that it's the error, but they get freaked out about it.
There are some houses that are just plain old sick houses.
Oh yeah,
and there's so many moisture sources that you can't control it no matter what you do. But it's very seldom that we come across a house that's just
even an
hopeless.
old 1800 house. is not going to necessarily have mold upstairs.
Not necessarily.
No.
A lot of those are not basket cases.
No. Right.
Depends on the soil conditions, the gutters.
I had a river going through the basement on an old 1800 and no problems.
Yeah.
But I get you.
Yeah. Well, this is not the last time we'll talk about air sealing. This is like one of my little submissions in life is to get people to understand like the value of that.
He's gonna start talking in ERVs, and he's gonna have HPIN.
I'm gonna start making my own acronyms just to confuse people. I think that'd be very beneficial.
Keeps everybody looking, you know?
Yeah, you want people like on their guard, like, oh, what's he talking about? You know?
Thank you so much for coming. How do people find you?
We're fourseasonscomfortma.com. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Call us at the office, 978-847-4240. Happy to help.
I love that.
Good stuff. Thank you. Appreciate you being here.
And I'm Lana Kopsla from Coldwell Banker Realty right here in Leominster here. You can find me at lanasellshomes.com, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. And hope that you subscribe, but also love to hear your thoughts of interest in topics, and maybe you want to be on our podcast. So feel free to shout out, send us a quick message, and we'd be happy to respond. And Mark
Fratoni, Wachusett Home Inspection. You can find me on Instagram or just Google me. Please like and subscribe to our podcast. It helps us keep doing this. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.